so many difficult and confusing sometimes emotions. But if you are taking care of a loved one, it is important to have these conversations.
Yes, if something happens to your aging parent and they can no longer advocate for themselves, do you know their wishes? Joining us now, Kim Barnes from the Facebook support group Parenting Aging Parents. Kim, always good to have you on Morning on Merritt Street. You provide such valuable insight.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be back.
Thank you. I mean, we could go for hours on this subject, many pieces to the puzzle. Where should we start, Kim?
I think it starts with thinking about what is the information that I need and what are the conversations that I need to have. You know, we created the Caregiver's Key as a way to be able to help prompt you to even think about all the things that you need to know for their final wishes, but also even just to be able to help you step in and advocate for them or to be able to help them along this process. And so it's really a conversation that you want to have as early as possible. And frankly, don't think about it as a mom and dad, we need to have the talk, if you will. Like if you think about when you're dating, it's really an ongoing discussion. And really the sooner you can start, the better, especially when it can be kind of hypothetical. It feels a lot less pressure than when you're in a crisis.
You know, Kim, once we identify what we need to talk about and we do sit down to have that conversation, it may involve numerous people. So who should be part of this planning?
For sure, the siblings, if there are any siblings. You know, we sometimes say that when you're an only child, the benefit is that you don't have to work with other siblings in case there's disagreements. The challenge is that you have to do it all yourself, potentially. But when there are siblings, think about how do we get on the same page with family dynamics? There are all kinds of weird relationships sometimes in families. Knowing, is there one child that maybe can start this conversation or facilitate it a little easier? But also knowing that there's sometimes people that you want to bring in outside the immediate family. And our family, with my mom's move to independent living, she was not open to the idea when my brother brought it up or when I brought it up. But when her brother, my uncle, brought it up, she was more apt to listen. And that actually helped it become her decision. So it's really figuring out who are the people that can help them see the importance of this and can start those conversations.
Kim, you know, your Caregiver's Key played such a big role in my life in going through the processing and handling of my mom's passing. There were so many things in there that surprised me, things that I hadn't thought about. So kind of walk us through some of the things that you're asking us to collect when it comes to information and what should be a priority.
You know, the Caregiver's Key is such a long list of things, you know, like where's the title to the car, you know, or who mows their grass, or as well as all the important personal and medical and financial and legal things that you might think of. I think priorities would be knowing their finances is so important because it unfortunately drives so many decisions. But probably the place to start is with legal. Because the challenge with legal documents is that oftentimes by the time you need them, a power of attorney, a will, a trust, or any of those things, when you need them, if you don't already have them, it's too late. So really thinking about, have we had those conversations? Do we know where those documents are? Have they been updated anytime in recent history? And we've done several interviews that are on our website tackling a lot of the legal because it's confusing. It's hard to understand what are the most important things and what are the things maybe I can do myself and when do I need to get an attorney involved.
Yeah, and when you bring up what can I do myself and kind of when you brought this conversation right now, because once we get our affairs in order for our aging parents, when should we take time to start sorting through our documents and our information for our family members coming behind us?
It's sometimes being aware of the fact that we haven't thought about this in a while. I mean, this is sort of embarrassing. When we started doing Parenting Aging Parents interviews, we quickly realized, oh my gosh, we have not updated our will since our son was born, which had been more than 20 years. We'd done a floppy disk will and had not updated it all when our daughter was born, and she was now in her 20s. So it's being aware of the things that we haven't done, but certainly if there's a milestone, a birth, a death, a divorce, and also making sure our parents are looking at them fairly regularly too, because there are situations that change. If their power of attorney, their spouse is no longer able to make decisions for them, they shouldn't be the only power of of attorney available? And do we need to make some changes there too?
Yeah, there's so much to go through and so much information. We're grateful that you created the Facebook group of Parenting Aging Parents. We encourage people to go there for support and information. Kim Barnes, thank you for opening up this conversation, one that really needs to be had.
Thank you, Kim. And I do have your handbook too. I've been reading it. So thank you for that as well.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.